How do you know if this is working or not? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know? Hello, everybody. It is your girl, Kaya, aka Classy K. Um, Many of you guys don't know me, so I'm gonna give you a little introduction. I'm 22 years old. I'm a Clark Atlanta student, psych major. Yes, Clark, that's E. And I am from St. Louis, Missouri. I live in Atlanta, ATL. Anyways, is there anything else you guys should know? Oh, a big important thing is I make music. Tap into my Instagram. For real. Tap into my Instagram at Classy K. I will drop that information below. Now we're gonna get straight into it, baby. Today I want to talk about knowing yourself. I feel like knowing yourself is one of the most important things to living this life. I mean, like, if you don't know yourself, then what the fuck are you really doing? What are you really doing then if you don't know yourself? If you don't know yourself, how the fuck do you know what you want? How do you know what you desire? How do you know what you need to get the fuck away from? And like, there's just so much to knowing yourself. So I'm going to break it down into pieces that I feel like is important to me. All of this is current lessons that I'm learning or constantly learning. And I did just take a trip back home to St. Louis. Like I just told y'all, that's where I'm from. I just took a trip back home and I don't know. It did a lot. Don't mind my top ties. I know they're huge. I've heard that my whole life. Don't say it. I know. Anyways, I feel like it was a really eye-opening trip and it made me open my eyes to a lot when it came to myself, my parents, my bloodline, and generational curses. So I'm gonna tie all of that together so it makes sense. Okay? So instead of talking about knowing yourself as an individual, I want to start about knowing yourself as far as your bloodline and where you come from. Like, I feel like that is really important because knowing where you come from is important because that is imprinted in your story. Makes you the way you are. But I feel like a lot of us feel like we have to be stuck in the story that we were born into or that our family tells us or what we were shown. But you don't have to stick to that story. Like, you can create whatever story you want for yourself. But in order to create the story you want for yourself and be the person you want to be and truly know who you are at your core, I feel like you have to know where you come from and I guess the story you were born into. So, for example, my family's from St. Louis. The reason why, to me, where I'm from is so important because I feel like St. Louis is a unique place. I'm gonna say it like that. I feel like people that are there have a lot of like, how do I want to put this? St. Louis is a very, I want to say low vibrational place, honestly. Um, a lot of trauma, a lot of broken families, and I don't want to give y'all no history lesson, but this is why I say it's important to know your history. I know if we really get down to the nitty and gritty, they put crack in the motherfucking black neighborhoods. And St. Louis is such a small motherfucking place that when they did that shit, it really broke St. Louis. It's so small and like it really broke St. Louis. So a lot of people come from, broken homes. Of course, that's anywhere, but St. Louis is just so small that I feel like it intensified the effect of that. So a lot of people coming from broken homes, crackhead parents and shit, like not being raised out in the streets, creating drug dealers, and just like children that weren't raised in complete homes. So this is embedded in my bloodline, which is embedded on my father's side. Some of it is embedded on my mama's side too, but I'd say she was born into a more blessed situation at home. She has military parents though, so I have to understand both sides of those stories. So the way I see is coming from my dad's side. That's like a broken home situation, abandonment, no father, no real maternal figure. My mom's side, I see that as strict controlling parenting where you limit your child so much that they don't even get to like explore themselves, know themselves, and like go out there in life to where they have a fucking fear. Okay? But let me get back to the topic so you can understand. Like I was saying, it's just really important to know where you come from. So I would say really understand the roots of where the fuck you was born at. Understand the roots of where you stay at. Shit, for me it's basically like I came from a low vibrational place. My parents sacrificed a lot, brought me to Atlanta, and like that is a very big core thing for me, and it's important and it's imprinted in my brain, and it's motivational for me to know that my parents really worked hard to get the fuck, like we are the first people to get the fuck up out of St. Louis. And to me, that embeds a generational breaker in me and pioneers. Like I already know that's what I am. Like fuck, it's in my bloodline. We are pioneers. We are the first to get the fuck, and I just know how much more I can do with that, with those opportunities and blessings, and like with what my parents did. Now, being here in Atlanta with all this weird fake ass shit, sorry to say that's the truth. Growing up here, that's what I seen. It was fake as fuck. People are weird. They don't accept people who are authentic and real. They want to judge it unless it becomes popular and it's a wave. I got bullied my motherfucking whole life here because I'm a unique ass bitch and I don't fit into the motherfucking crowd. Like, what the fuck? Like, anyways, got bullied for being a quiet asshole. Like, what the fuck y'all want from me? What you want me to say? Like, y'all want me to be joining people? I don't know what y'all want from me. But all I'm saying is, I had to always remember where the fuck I came from being here in Atlanta. Like, that's why that St. Louis, knowing where I'm from is so fucking important to me. I know where I'm from. I'm not like these people. And I know that, like, I'm really built different. And, like, y'all can't even play in my fucking face. Because, bitch, you don't know where I'm from. You don't know what I've been through. You don't know my story. You don't know what the fuck my family did to get here and get me here. So, I ain't stunting you hoes. Okay? So yes, knowing where you from is important. Now, like I said, back to your bloodline, knowing your bloodline, knowing the generational curses and the patterns that have been passed down in your family line and passed down to you. I really seen that a lot going back in St. Louis because of course I'm around my family. I can see the dynamic, and it really allowed me to show my parents grace because I'm like, they are only passing down what they know to me. They are showing me. Think of it like this: when you want to get mad at your parents for like the way they raised you or patterns that they passed down and how like it's annoying. Like it is annoying that my mom is strict as fuck. It is. But this made me show her grace because dealing with my grandparents and seeing how they were acting, it made me realize my mama is just reflecting to me her childhood. Your parents are just reflecting their childhood to you and on your childhood. It's up to you to break that. If you know you ain't like your childhood and how they raised you and you don't want to do your kids, it takes real intentional work to break that shit. You have to see the pattern first. And to break that shit, it starts with knowing yourself. Like I said, all this shit go back to knowing yourself. So knowing your roots is really important. The generational curses, the patterns, where you from, like knowing your fucking history for real. That's important to me. I spent time breaking down my whole family tree, watching them patterns. Like I can do it from like my great grandparents and see how that shit went down. It's the same motherfucking pattern. What's been passed down to me is abandonment and like strict controlling manipulative behavior. Like that's what's been passed down. That's what I've seen. Now that we got past all the like, like background stuff in your background story, we got to get into like actually knowing yourself as an individual. Yes, it's important to know the stuff that your family passed down to you, and like your family molds you, kind of makes you the person you are. Sometimes they can make you cold-hearted, or you might be a sensitive as person, and you're around a emotionally unavailable family, and What does that do? That makes you shrink yourself, make yourself smaller. You're not being sensitive. You don't want to cry, hiding yourself. Okay? So I feel like that's where you have to understand that you are your own individual outside of your family in that motherfucking story. You have to know who you really are. You have to know the way those curses and certain dynamics in your childhood changed you, made you someone you're not, made you smaller. You have to remember who the fuck you really is deep inside. And that's going back to who the fuck you was as a child. You need to remember the type of child you was. What type of child was you? And I be feeling like my child self a lot because I'm back in my element, remembering who the fuck I am. You want to know what type of child I was? Bitch, I said whatever the fuck used to come to my mind. And my mama did not like that. Because I would speak that truth. Like, okay, let's say my mama got some shit from like City Trends on sale. Like, I'm quick to tell a motherfucker, hey, we got that from City Trends. Like, go get you some. That was the type of girl I was. I'm going to blurt what come out of my mind. That is me. Sorry, not sorry. Like, and that's how I know I'm being my true self nowadays when I be doing what I do, blurting shit out, saying whatever to my mom. I do that shit to my mama all the time, and I know she'd be tired of me. But this is me, baby. Love it or hate it. Don't know what to tell you. Bitch, I love me though. Anyway, just knowing yourself. You gotta revert all them patterns, basically. Revert what it did to you. Like, understand what being in your household did to you. Like, you gotta understand. What it did to me was it made me more quiet. It made me stay to myself. It made me want to be alone. Um, what else I want to say? Made me a sad ass depressed out too. Just really shrinking myself. I'm a very big hearted girl. I speak a lot. I speak my truth. There's a lot to me, and growing up in my childhood, I mean, like, it just strengthened it. Like, a lot of what's going on, I strengthened that shit. And like, in my teenage years, I seen the effects of that, and like how I was acting out and just like not truly being myself. But at the same time, I do want to say all parts of you, all the things you show, all them areas in your life, you know, where you might be disappointed or you don't want to even claim that hoe. Like, junior year me, do not want to claim that hoe. What the fuck was you doing running away? We'll get into that another time. But I feel like all of those are parts of you, and that just shows you who you really are. You got dark sides, you got good sides, and there's no such thing as good or bad. Okay? People always say, oh, that's a good person, that's a bad person. No, we are all a mix of good and bad, and everybody gets different sides of you, different versions of you. Somebody might have got a good side of you or catch you on a good day, motherfucker. Then another person caught you being crazy as fuck, losing your fucking mind, tweaking, mean as hell. Like, you are a human. That's what you are. You are a person. Drop the good or bad. You are a person. You're going to have your good or bad moments, and you need to love it all. It's important to knowing who you are. Why were you like that? Why did you have that phase? What was going on with you? That's what I had to understand in that little phase where I wasn't very enticed with myself. I needed that era. I needed to rebel because it was showing like how I felt. Like, I was in a constricted, controlling environment. That shit not me. That's another thing about me. I don't give a fuck what nobody talking about. I am not meant to be controlled. I'm a leader. I'm a pioneer. I am not meant to be controlled. That is not my cup of tea. Like, it's not. Sorry. It makes me feel so fucking restricted. Like, it make my blood boil. It make me want to scream. And so that era was meant for me to like understand that, free myself, scream a little, like, bitch, rebel. I was rebelling like fuck. Now, although I did not handle it correctly and in the best way, I learned from that, and I learned how to communicate. You want to be treated as an adult, and with respect, communicate. And that was another thing that came in handy. Remembering who the fuck I was. I speak up. I don't stay quiet. I speak up for myself and say what the fuck I had to say. Ultimately, knowing yourself is key. Knowing who you are is important to your whole fucking life. And once you know yourself, that helps you navigate life, helps you navigate your career, helps you navigate school, helps you navigate connections and people, and most importantly, all relationships are important, but that romantic relationship. Because once you go in that romantic relationship, it's not just you anymore. It's somebody else and their traumas. And do they know they fucking self? Do you know yourself enough to choose the right partner instead of choosing from a triggered place? Knowing yourself is important. Journal. Get the fuck up off of social media. Stop taking in so much energy and other people's opinions so you can feel your own energy and know your own self. That is an era I'm in right now, and I'm flourishing, y'all. I'm doing the things I like to do. I'm making music. I'm making content, making videos. I'm confident in myself because I know myself and what I have to bring to the world. Know yourself. Journal. Figure out who the fuck you are, okay? I know I talk fast, and that was probably a lot. These videos gonna get better, but that's what I had to say today, y'all. So subscribe, like, and comment, okay? Y'all will see me later.